Take this town. A town like any other town. An area where children play. Birds fly freely. Postmen deliver mail without worry of treacherous dogs. A town of pure and simple beauties. But a town with a deep, dark secret. A town that is on the brink of a hell unlike any other. Desolation. Desperation. Death. Our story starts here. This average-looking building, which at one time was a monument to one man's achievement, would soon be a coffin he constructed for himself, a place where all his maniacal desires would lead him to his own demise. The man, one Thomas J. Watson, Jr., heir to the throne of one of the largest technical corporations of all time, International Business Solutions, better known as IBM. IBM was started by Watson's father, but it was Watson Jr. that blossomed the company out and brought it to one of the biggest industrial centers in the East Coast, Binghamton, New York. IBM was known in the 1960s for its computer innovations. Soon the government became involved with the company's work. They gave millions of dollars worth of funding to Watson and his crew, and in return, turned the company's basement into a super-secret weapons storage. Down miles below the cream-colored towers lay the Northeast's largest stockpile of weapons, enough weapons to supply a small country, or destroy a very large one. It was the trains that brought the weapons in. Originally designed for the shipping of products into and out of the plant, the train yard became a valuable asset for moving these arms. The basement held everything from bayonets to nuclear missiles. Since the United States was in the midst of a Cold War, it was impossible to say what kind of intelligence the Russians had. The artillery was shipped in IBM boxes and no one was any the wiser. Even the employees didn't know they were unloading enough atomic energy to destroy the greater part of New York State. Watson, being a brilliant entrepreneur, was, of course, a devout anti-communist. The idea that one man could not make it above another, no matter how much effort they put forth, drove him crazy. He despised everything red. With his hatred growing so deep, and his knowledge that the American government would never take care of the pinko problem, he decided to take matters into his own hands. With the money the government gave him, he created a supercomputer, one that could recreate the brain makeup of other humans. With this, Watson began making brains of all the world's most famous dictators, conquerors, and killers. With an arsenal of weapons and an army under his control, Watson was going to take on the commies himself. Soon development of the indestructible brain machine was finished. Watson began to carry out his devilish scheme without regard for its effects on the rest of the world. It was obvious that he had lost his mind. Even his second-in-command noticed changes in him, and more importantly, the look in his eye. The look of only a complete maniac. The government soon became curious when contact with Watson began to drop and his requests for more funding began to increase. They were worried that they had created something bigger than their enemies, and knowing if Watson controlled the weapons, he controlled the world. The government knew they had to intervene, but feared a full-scale assault would lead to more destruction than any possible good. They were powerless against his devious mind. They sent Rodman P. Serling, a Binghamton native best known for his work on the popular television show The Twilight Zone. Serling was also a talented secret agent. Watson, however, was already prepared for Serling's arrival. The two battled fiercely for some time. They would eventually make it to an enclosed catwalk that connected the IBM buildings. The two fought with such bitter hatred that it was hard to see who had been out alive. Finally, through an error in Watson's footing, he smashed through a window and plunged neck first on the street. His brain cracked like a ripe melon, and his madness became nothing more than a stain on the sidewalk. Watson's monument of destruction was put to a stop. The government took their weapons and shut down the IBM plant, leading to the area's economic downfall. Things would never be the same for the people of that fair city. They may never know the true tragedy they so nearly escaped.